Greetings, Dino Squad. Excuse the voice, but until I get a better mic, this is what we're working with. I wish to share with you the tale of how I carried this game to victory, despite my Fiddlesticks losing his absolute mind. The purpose of this video is to show you that, as long as you stay calm and focused, and don't listen to bad calls from teammates, you can still carry games that seem bad. As you might have noticed from the loading screen, I'm fighting against a Lucian Blitzcrank bot lane. Which, as an ADC with no mobility beyond summoners and my ult, can be quite difficult and annoying to lane against. Despite this, I use my knowledge of wave state to create a freeze in front of our tower. So my support and I are actually doing just fine. Meanwhile, Fiddlesticks has already begun his slow descent into madness. He pops the honey fruit for some reason but then only eats 2 pieces. And then he starts the Drake even though Veigar is actively under Katarina's tower and I do not have priority in my lane. Unsurprisingly, Nasus shows up to ruin this Drake take. And so begins the chase that will lead to the first time that Fiddlesticks completely flips out. It's right about here that Fiddlesticks should have realized that continuing to chase Nasus would only end in disaster. But he continues to pursue, and then it truly begins. I had been ignoring the fight as I knew it would end badly, and had been farming the wave when I notice Lucian and Blitzcrank heading toward the triangle bush. I stay back to avoid getting hooked in by Blitz, but see an opportunity to at least punish Nasus. So I kill him quickly, and then get out as I know that Fiddlesticks is already dead and Vel'Koz has no mana to back me up. This is the moment where Fiddlesticks goes on full tilt and decides to ping literally everything about me. You can't see it in the replay, but he also pinged every single one of my items, and then pinged my runes as well. To be fair to him, I did have resolve as my secondary runes. But I swapped to those runes specifically to mitigate the burst damage from Katarina and Lucian. As you can see by my post-game stats, they worked quite well. Don't be afraid to mix up your runes if it helps you counter the enemy team. Yep, that's at me again. He is still pretty salty. But considering that I have a CS lead and am about to crash Lucian's tower, I really don't care. A little while later, I'm pushing a big wave into Lucian's tower, when Blitzcrank decides that it's a good idea to start and engage on my support regardless of the wave state. This was not, in fact, a good idea, as I easily land a double kill and a shutdown, despite Lucian's best efforts to exhaust me. Fiddlesticks, however, is still on full tilt. So even though I am 3-0, and have Lucian's tower almost dead, he would rather take all of my CS right before I arrive than let me continue to snowball. Just so that he knows, that I know, that he's still really mad. Luckily, my support is a bro, and steals the cannon from him. And now he will once again sing me the song of his people, titled, Baitbing. Unlike Fiddlesticks, the enemy team is starting to realize that I am the problem.exe. And so Katarina decides to pay my lane a visit. But with a well-placed ult-root combo from me, Fiddlesticks is finally able to get his first kill of the game. Malphite, smelling blood in the water, decides that he too would like to punish the Lucian that I have been stomping all game. With the help of my new pet rock, we are able to get Lucian's tower, and Katarina pays for her trespass into my territory with her life. At this point, I am googly fed, and so have little qualms about going to a teamfight over the Drake. I do, however, still have enough qualms to hang back a bit after watching Fiddlesticks whiff his ult. Luckily we get a good engage off of Malphite and I clean up the enemy team with a triple kill. Fast forward, Lucian has given up at this point and refuses to talk to me. So rather than get any farm, push aside wave, or contest my push, he'd rather follow Katarina around and actively avoid pushing waves in order to do so. Unfortunately, they pick a bad fight in a blind spot and this results in Katarina once again dying and Fiddlesticks getting his second kill. During this time, I was pushing bot lane hard, like an ADC who actually wants to win this game. By the time anyone realized what I had been up to, I had already gotten 2 towers, a bunch more CS, and even managed to get Pantheon to waste his ult. Things were starting to look grim after the enemy team got the Baron and proceeded to deathball into our base. But despite Fiddlesticks once again whiffing his ult, we were able to turn the tables and get an ace. A few bad plays later, and the enemy team has once again slain the Baron. This time they stole it out from under Fiddlesticks and then killed him for good measure. But at least we managed to return the favor and take some of their bigger threats off of the board. So I decided to, once again, slam through bot lane as I was not really afraid of anyone left alive. This, of course, drew the ire of Fiddlesticks, who serenaded me once more. The other members of our team were much more reasonable, and realized that I was how we were still in this game. So my pet rock teleported to me so that we could make an easy pick on Katarina. This then opened the door to a pretty clean team fight and an easy inhib. A job complete, my pet rock and I traveled to the Drake pit as we knew that the stronger members of the enemy team would be respawning soon. And then he acted as my invisible bodyguard while I soloed the Dragon Soul because, secretly, I was the jungler all along. After a quick reset to build my final item, it was time to punch through mid and end. Of course, we couldn't finish without at least one more whiffed ult from Fiddle. At least this time he was able to finish the job after. It was all over now, we had won. And that's the story of how cooler heads prevailed, and I carried our team to victory, despite the best efforts of a very angry little scarecrow. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel if you're interested in more content like this. And remember, keep calm, and carry on.
Touch your